Yeah, no, feel really good. Obviously, it was a long 12 months to try to get back fit, but in terms of fitness-wise, yeah, I feel great, and obviously, yeah, just absolutely delighted to be a part of the squad. As the months kind of went by, it was one of them where I wasn't sure if I was going to be in it or not. So, yeah, to get the final call was amazing, and a really proud moment.
I imagine along with the physical rehab, there must have been tough mentally, just not knowing, when you went back that
Yeah, well, it's over a 12 months injury. You have your highs and you have your lows. But for me, a big part of the rehab was, speaking to my brother who's done, 3 Achilles injuries, and he's been out for a few years. So to see what he went through, mine kind of didn't really seem all that bad. So he was a great support, and likewise was everyone in the family, teammates, and people back at the club as well.
Harry, thanks for regard to Sydney morning, everybody. Good to see you here. It's one thing to be back fit. It's another to go into a first up World Cup match against the French national team and all their attacking weapons. I mean, have you considered what that's going to be like? And I'm guessing you're backing the short amount of minutes that you've got in your legs and everything you've done so far to be ready for that challenge.
Yeah, I mean, make no bones about it. It's going to be a really tough challenge. We know they're a really good team. But likewise, we've got so much faith in ourselves, so much belief that we could go out there and we could do something. So yeah, in terms of myself, to be ready, fitness-wise, I feel great, I feel fine, and mentally, I feel really strong as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Harry, but I think you look a little bit different since the last time we saw you in terms of some ink work that you've got done. I know we've seen photos of one of them. I think you've got the coat of arms of Australia on there. Can you talk us through what you've got, and obviously the sign that you've got Aussie stuff, I guess it's on your skin now, or technically in your blood. I don't know how that would work, but I mean that's a sign of how all this work's done, how much it means to you.
Yeah, no, obviously I know a few of the lads have got it, but I just got my cap number and the coat of arms on my calf, and then just a kind of random with on the sleeve. But my brother passed away 3.5 months ago, so I've got him on my arm there just to kind of remind me every day. What a brilliant person he was.
Harry, joining this year for me to reiterate what you see here at camp. Just on that connection to Australia, obviously you spent your upbringing in Scotland, but you're now a fully fledged Socceroo, key part of this side. I think you've talked a lot about Aussie DNA throughout this campaign. I'm interested to hear from somebody you that grew up in Scotland. What does Aussie DNA mean to you? What is Aussie DNA?
I think it's pretty simple. I think it's just never giving up. I think when I first came into camp, the lads have got such a great culture. The young boys coming through are kind of brought up to that culture straight away. We know what it means to play for Australia, and yeah, it's kind of drummed into us straight away. So it's just about never giving up, and that, yeah, it's hit the nail on the head.
The French have a lot of attacking talent, that you're a defender, so I'm going to ask you about that, but you scored a few goals during qualification, and set pieces has been an area that many are identifying as a possible avenue to goals against their birth. You feeling up to making a few headers from corners and all that?
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I think obviously a lot gets made of my height and stuff and set pieces, and listen, we know the game's not just about kind of nice football. There's plenty of goals are scored from set pieces. So if that's a weapon we use, then yeah, fair enough. And yeah, obviously the goals were scored kind of the first qualification stage. So it'd be nice to get a couple more hopefully.
Harry, it's Mark Schwartz here, Optus Sport. Good to see you back.
Thank you.
Question I want to ask you is, we mentioned before about your preparation for France. I want to know actually what you've done actually in individual preparation, knowing Mbappe, Benzema, Giroud, potential opponents. You yourself analyse it in any way?
I think how I like to play the game. A lot of it's mental. Kind of watching these players, every week on the television, basically. You kind of get to see a lot of their games, a lot of their play. So yeah, listen, we'll probably do a lot more meetings in the coming days. Defensive work, obviously, yourself. Shaping stuff, and yeah, it's just about watching them and kind of picking things up. Listen, we know it's not going to be easy. We know it's going to be an incredible challenge. A world-class players, they're a world-class team. We respect them a lot, but that kind of spirit that we've got as a team, and what we think we can do. Hopefully we can go out there and surprise a few people.
One more question is less serious, but an important one in fact. We all know you're a barista in camp. What's your coffee of choice?
It's basically a standard black Americano.
Good choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Harry, Tom Spurs from Keeper. After you had the injury, you had to fly back to the UK. Knowing what was ahead of you, what was going through your mind on that back?
I was sitting next to Riley McGree, so he put me asleep pretty quickly. Obviously I knew it was a bad injury and it was going to be a kind of long-term one, but I knew the boys still had a game to play. I think it was against China in Dubai, so it was just trying to be supportive as I can to them. Obviously it was a big game. And yeah, I knew obviously I was going to have the op and kind of get that done as quickly as possible. But the first thought in my head was, right, I need to get fit for the World Cup. That was the first thought. That's obviously what I discussed with the manager, and they were all supportive of me. And obviously when I got back to the UK, had the operation, it was kind of let's get to work.
Was there any point when you thought you were going to make it?
Yeah, I think you have doubts in your head along the way. Being a year out, there was obviously ups and downs, like I touched on before. I don't think I ever thought in my head that I wasn't going to make it. I always kind of knew with the work that I put in and how hard I've worked to get here, then I was going to do it in the end. But like I said, it was a hard road, but we're here. I'm feeling great. I just can't wait to get going.
David Weiner, also from Keeper. Just on a similar note, when did you have a light bulb moment you thought, I've got this, I think I'm going to make it? And also just an insight into the work you did both at the club and how that interaction worked with the country as well.
Yeah, I don't think there was kind of one moment where I would say, right, yeah, I'm back. But I think it's a gradual process of, your first session out on the grass, just jogging in a straight line for a minute. And then that kind of progresses, to passing the ball 5 yards, 10 yards, clipping, running a little bit quicker, longer distance. So I think it's a gradual process. I know a lot of lads that have done kind of knee injuries and ankle injuries say that, the first session back when you do a big block tackle or you get a bang on it, your knee, how will you feel? And had a few of them and, came through. So, there wasn't really one moment, it was just kind of a gradual process. And sorry, I didn't catch the second bit of your question.
The work, the support you got from your club, and then how that interaction worked with your captain and the national team.
Yeah, no, I've got to say a big shout out to the physio back at Stoke, Nick Meese, who's been absolutely amazing with me. Put in so much work. Obviously coming in, early. Little gym sessions, walk bikes. Seeing the lads out training every day, and you're stuck in the walk bike when it's nice and sunny. It was obviously. It was not nice to be there, but I'm just thankfully I'm back, and big shout out to Nick Meese, who was amazing, and I can't thank him enough.
Harry, Mark, you said you especially just a dumb one. Is it okay if we get a shot of your tat after we finish?
Yeah, not a problem.
That's great. I'm not going to ask you if you think you can defeat France, because I know what you're going to say. What I want to know is how you get the belief that you can defeat France.
I think that's a cultural thing that kind of goes back to the early stages of qualifying. Obviously we've used a number of players, but the core groups kind of stayed similar. Every training session, every game that we play together, there's just more of this feeling that we get. And obviously it's nice to be in camp, seeing lads, on a day-to-day basis like you do your teammates back at the clubland, and just enjoying your time around everyone. I know I've said before that it feels different when you come into the Australian national team. Guys playing all over the world, and you come together and it's just a click straight away. I've never felt anything like that before. So I think it's a mix of everything, but I think it's just that feeling that we've got for the man next to us, knowing that I'm going to go that extra bit for him and he's going to go that extra bit for me.
And what's it going to mean to you when and if you do make the World Cup debut?
Yeah, listen, obviously I don't want to say too much because the team's not been selected yet, but obviously it'll be a massive privilege and an honour, and a really proud moment, not just for me but for my family, my mum especially, and my brother as well.
Tracy Hose, ABC, great to have you here. I just want to get a little bit of insight into what's happening inside that bubble over there. Can you tell me inside the camp, who's the loudest, who's the quietest, who's the funniest, who's the most annoying, and how would you describe yourself?
Yeah, you could probably guess who's the loudest, a fellow Scot. No, listen, they've all got their personality traits. There's a wee games room, we've been playing table tennis and pool, and obviously with, the TVs, Netflix nowadays and stuff. There's a few characters in there, but, obviously I'm sharing with Riley McGree, so we got on really well, obviously both playing in England. We kind of, catch up wherever we can. And I'd probably say I'm kind of bang in the middle of the group, not the chilled one, but, not the loud one like Martin Boyle.
And who's the most competitive at all of the extracurricular activities?
Most competitive? I'd probably say one of the older guys, I think. People that I played against, probably Big Mitchell Duke. He likes it, he's never off the table tennis table. And he's pretty easy to wind up as well.
Hello, how are you? Arnaud, First Television, journalist France. I have two questions. The first, Australian team get a committee position about human rights in Qatar. How is important for you to do it?
Sorry, could you repeat that question? I didn't quite.
Yes, Australian team get a committee position about human rights in Qatar. How is important for you to do it?
Yeah, obviously, as a team, we made a statement before the tournament, and any individuals that want to speak more on that probably will speak more on that. But me personally, we made a statement at the right time, and now we're here. We're purely focused on the football in that first game.
And the second, what it like to you to play against the world champion France if Karim Benzema, the goal pro, doesn't play?
If Karim Benzema doesn't play?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If
he doesn't play.
Well, if he plays, if he doesn't play, it's the same. We're going to try and win the game.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Harry, Cody, Sports News. Just sort of looking at Arnie's options, that there's a chance that you partner with Kai Rolls in the middle. I don't believe you played together before getting your injury and when he made his international debut. Have you been working together? Give some insight of the training track about developing a partnership with him, if that is the case.
Yeah, I think we've played maybe once together at the Olympics, I think. And yeah, listen, I'm so pleased for Kai because obviously he got the move to Hearts, and I think if you speak to any Hearts fan, you see how well he's been doing. Likewise with the two other boys there. So yeah, really pleased for him, and obviously seeing him play the two games in the summer there, the semi-final and the final, I thought he was our best player. I thought he was unbelievable on the ball and off the ball. Defensively, really strong. Don't think he lost a duel, and on the ball he was calm and composed. So yeah, he's a really good player, and if we are selected, I'm really looking forward to play alongside him.
Harry, Joe from There you go. I want to talk about discipline and kind of specifically in terms of fouls, red cards, yellow cards. Australia seems to be quite a disciplined team. I just want to know how important that is, for how you approach a game and how you walk that fine line between throwing yourself into everything, but also, drinking cool, not letting the red mistake.
Yeah, I think it's obviously there's positive and negatives to it. You want to be passionate, you want to be committed, but obviously with VAR, obviously you can't get away with anything these days. I think that as a team you've got to have a nasty streak about you and being clever. I think all the great teams have it. So yeah, we're under obviously no illusions that we're going to have to use that side of our game. It's no secret, all the good teams do it. But obviously we've got to be clever in that as well.
G'day Harry, just to talk about the French camp's been very respectful, but very much they don't know a lot about this team. Do you buy that, and is that potentially something that could be an advantage?
Yeah, listen, in terms of what they think about our team, I've not really concerned myself with that. Obviously they're world champions and they're a great team. obviously we look forward to Tuesday. But yeah, like I said, not really too concerned of what they think of us as a team.
And just secondly, mate, I know you're probably focused on getting your body right at this stage, but you were linked previously with big clubs, Premier League clubs, and Valley was something like 35 million. You see this tournament as a bit of a shot window for the future of the big club?
No, I don't think you can go into any match or any tournament thinking that. Obviously, as a player, it's obviously nice to get praise, but at the same time, you're only one match away from criticism. So yeah, that kind of stuff for me is irrelevant. I'm just focusing on playing well and making Australia proud.
Hey Harry, that's from Channel 10. Are the Socceroos Scotland's team as well at this World Cup? I mean, that bond just seems to be growing all the time. You've got a brother who plays international for them, and a third of our team plays over there now, and we've got Cummings and Boyle, obviously, the link. But how do you feel about that? It's kind of like you're representing two countries at once, aren't you?
Yeah, no, it's obviously nice. And obviously with the boys, more and more boys going over there and playing their clubland football. And obviously I'm seeing, back home, I think Hearts are opening their bars and stuff for the fans to come and watch all the Aussie games. And obviously back home I've had a lot of support from family and friends. Obviously Australia will be their team for the World Cup, which is nice. And also seeing, my boys club, Brecon City Boys Club, who I grew up playing for. Obviously they're doing, events in their community with, the Australian team and stuff. So yeah, it's really nice to see.
I just wanted to know about your brother John. Is he going to be able to come over and watch your game? If he is, will he be wearing an Australian shirt with Cisco on the back?
Well, he's just, I think he's 4 weeks post-op an injury. So there is a ticket with his name on it. Whether he can get a couple of days off to come out, he's not actually told me yet. But if he comes out, I'll make sure he'll be wearing the Souttar 19 on the back. Yeah.
Harry, Ryan, his thoughts from the stats perform. Us Aussies love nothing more than to watch some live sport and have a beer. What do you make yesterday's decision to ban the beers in the stadiums, and is there going to be an impact on the atmosphere?
Yeah, obviously I don't think whatever I say is going to change any decision that's been made, so don't really have an opinion on it. I think if you ask some of my family members that are coming across, they'll probably tell you a different story. So yeah, it's probably not one for me that I can answer.
Harry, just wanted to ask you about another dinky guy, Scottish Australian in the squad, Martin Boyle. How's he looking in training at the moment?
Yeah, good. Obviously, me and Boyley kind of go back a fair while. We've got the same agent, so yeah, kind of knew him way before. Obviously, we were both in the squad. Obviously, he's had a little setback, but in terms of what he's doing, I think he's looking good, and it'll just be a matter of time, I think, if he's there.
And a lot of questions about your journey back from the ACL, mate, but I remember looking for a dodgy Facebook stream of your debut for the under-23s in Cambodia. What's your reflections just in the past 4 years about where you started and now where you are in Doha?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think I've said before that first camp in Cambodia with the 23s was great. Obviously, a lot of familiar faces from that camp are in the squad today, so we've kind of went through the stages together. Obviously, the Olympic campaign as well, which started so good and obviously ended in a big disappointment for us. But we're here, kind of as a group, the younger ones, to kind of take the next stage up. And yeah, the 3 or 4 years that I've had in the national team have been amazing. I look forward to it every time it comes along the calendar. The kind of 10 days, 2 weeks that I get away to see everyone, and not just the players, but all the staff as well. Just see how they are, see how they're doing, and it's just like I said earlier, it's just that culture that we've got. Everyone genuinely cares, and it's just you can't describe that feeling in camp.
Harry, I may as well ask about the other Scottish guy in the team, Jason Cummings. He's become a cult hero in Australia pretty quickly. Can you give us an insight into how he's perceived back in Scotland? Because it certainly looks like he was on the scrap heap back there, and he's done a remarkable job to sort of turn his life and his career around in Australia.
Yeah, I think first of all, what I would say about Jace is he's a great player. Before anything, he's a great player. it'd be unfair for me to sit here and you know, say what someone's done or hasn't done or question what they've done in the past. All I know is that he's obviously moved out to Australia. Speaking to him, he absolutely loves it. He, you know, enjoying every minute of it. He's scoring goals. Obviously, that's why he's been selected. And I'm just really pleased for him that he's, you know, somewhere that, you know, he feels wanted and he's happy. And yeah, hopefully he can continue scoring goals for the national team.
And also speaking of goals, you've scored quite a few for the national team already, probably against some of those shorter teams in the early part of Asian qualifying. I know that Socceroos don't want to be seen as a set-piece team. There's other strings to your bow, but some French journalists are saying that they're actually quite vulnerable at set-pieces, that there's some good crosses in the team and a couple of good aerial threats like yourself and Mitchell Duke. Is that an opportunity for you guys in this first game?
I mean, I think you've got to look at it like that. Obviously, they'll be looking at the same. You know, set pieces is a massive weapon, and if you've got tools that you can utilise towards it, then I think any team would do so. Obviously, we've got some great deliveries of the ball. You know, Azza being one of them. You know, can put the money on a sixpence. So yeah, listen. You know, you've got the tools. You know, you can use it, and you know, hopefully, like you said before, obviously I've scored against some of the, you know, kind of smaller heighted nations. So you know, to do it on the big stage would be great.